So we should be live now. Another instance of our what's the controls? Another instance of our usual Sunday workshops. Just basically going over things that have come across the past couple of days when it comes to the VA. There is some news that is beneficial for veterans, that is basically going to give veterans an extra hand. Well, I wouldn't say it's going to give veterans an extra hand, but it will give them a better chance of getting their disability approved. There was a ruling that just came out. It was about 2 weeks ago. It was Chisholm versus Collins, which is basically anytime there's like a lawsuit or something that goes against whoever the Department of Veteran Affairs is in charge of, or whoever's in charge of the department. So it's Chisholm against Secretary Collins, or basically against the VA. The biggest issue that came out of that court case is that we've had a lot of veterans which have run into the problem where they get a disability claim denied off of the fact that they had the wrong form. So off of this new court case, basically, that the Board of Appeals just signed off on and they ratified, basically, if a veteran decides to submit a form, a disability form, any kind of form it is, if it is outdated, the VA can no longer deny the claim off of the basis that it is a outdated form. So basically, instead of wasting time, which a lot of time was being wasted. So let's say you had a DBQ, a disability benefits questionnaire, and that disability benefits questionnaire was made in the, let's say, 2020, right? So it is now 2025, but they updated the form to a 2024 version. If you went ahead and filed that disability claim now in 2025 with that 2024 or that 2020 disability DBQ, you would end up getting your claim denied, or it would get kicked back because of the fact that the form was now outdated. So literally that was a lot of wasted time when it comes to disability claims, where if you had a form that was older, so if you go to the website, which is the vetawarenessproject.com, I have the VA forms there. So it has a listing of the VA forms, so you can check out all the VA forms. You can go down the list. If you need the VA form, all you got to do is click on it, download it, and you can get the VA form. These VA forms do get updated. The same thing with the DBQs, the disability benefits questionnaire, get updated whenever they get updated. Most of the time, if there's a change in diagnosis or there's a change in the diagnostic code, that's when it leads to change in the DBQ. But most people don't pay attention to that because they just get the DBQs when they receive them. If they're not taking them from a website like my site, I check to make sure that they're up to date. Or if you're not getting it from the va.gov site itself, you run into the problem where if your form is out of date, you submit it, it'll go through the whole process. You'll do the CMP exam, you'll do all that stuff. And then once you get to the actual time to get your rating, it'll say denied, or they'll kick it back. It'll get to like step 5, and then it'll be like, well, we got to kick this shit back. Why? Because you submitted everything on the wrong form. So now your whole claim just got thrown back, who knows, a couple of other months, because now you have to take the time to get the new form, fill out the new form. Depending on what the form is, you may need to get new signatures. So now you got to go get new signatures. So which most of the time is you still just have to go to your doctor and get a new signature, but now you have to get that re-signed again, or you have to get the paperwork done again to then resubmit it as evidence for your claim, and then wait through the process again, because now after you had already been rated, it got kicked back because they realized you had the wrong form. So now that you have the right form, you have to send it back and then go through the process all over again, which is tedious and is pointless, and all it did was waste veterans' time. So with this change in this court hearing, basically, veterans can no longer have that happen. So in case you use the wrong form, if the form is signed up correctly, if you filled it out correctly, if it's just that the form is outdated, you will still get the claim done correctly. As long as you do have it, because that's the other thing that veterans need to understand. Just because you have the forms and all that stuff still doesn't mean you've provided evidence to show that you have this disability or it was connected to the military service. So that's something that people need to realize and need to understand. It's not just this is how you got it. I filled out the forms. I have it. It's an automatic. It doesn't work that way. You have to make sure you have the evidence. You have the documentation. Now, the good thing is if you have the documentation, it doesn't matter if it's old. Now you can't be denied for that. So now it's basically eliminating with this court case coming into effect, it eliminates the ability, it lessens the ability of you getting denied or knowing the reasons why you got denied. Some people got denied or it got kicked back because it was the wrong form. Now that's out of the window. So now if you got denied, you have to make sure to check why it was you got denied. Because a lot of the times people don't view their rating letter and they see where, hey, this is what's going on. You got this because of this. You didn't get a higher percentage because you didn't meet what the CFR says. And then even though a lot of the times the CFR does say that or the ratings letter says that, most veterans don't take the time to find out what it is that it's talking about. Most veterans will just look at it as just like the quick look. It was just like, oh, it just says denied. They leave it at that. They don't ask no questions. They're like, you know what? I got denied. I got nothing else to do. And that's where we run into that problem. It was just like, no, you have to check to see why it was you got denied. Was it because you didn't have evidence? You didn't have a nexus letter? You didn't have that bridge connecting your time in service to when you had the injury till now? If you don't have that stuff, now, so it's basically making it simpler for veterans to understand why they got denied. Not saying go and lie, because it's out there. A lot of veterans are getting caught up because they're lying. A lot of veterans don't understand that being on social media can get you caught up. If you're lying about your situation, if you're lying about what you're going through, if you're lying about stuff, social media will get you caught up. It's not that people are snitching on you. It's that, hey, if a video goes viral that you made of something that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing because you claimed it as, oh, I wasn't supposed to do this, or this was bad, or whatever the case may be, you run into that problem. And now it's just like, oh, now you're getting a rating reduction. Why? Because you decided that you were going to do a deadlift, or you going to hit the gym. You know, you're going to start your streaming gym workouts, your calisthenics, whatever the hell you wanted to do. And it's everything that you decided to claim that was affecting you that you couldn't do. That's evidence showing that you are lying, or your disabling factor is not that disabling. Because if you out there playing hoops all the time and you got it recorded, you jumping, landing on your feet, your knees look fine, you doing windmills, fucking reverse dunks and all that shit, the VA's going to look at you and just be like, you know what? Something ain't adding up here. Then they look at your file. They see your file. It's just like, oh, he has back issues. Interesting. He got all these back issues, but he out here hooping like he's fucking LeBron in his prime, right? I was just like, you start doing that, people start looking at it just like, this don't make no sense. Other things that you do file disability claims for doesn't mean that you just don't have them, though. That's the other thing that a lot of people need to understand. For a lot of it is not just visual. A lot of it isn't just visual. There's a lot of stuff that's internal to veterans that people don't understand. Most people look at it like this. Most people that never served in the military, or most people that don't know how the VA works or don't know the process of getting a disability compensation will be like, oh, this wasn't service connected. Oh, he don't look that bad. You ever been told that? Any vets in the chat? Yeah, you haven't been told that? It was just like, you don't look that bad. You don't look fucked up. How many vets don't get told that? Oh, you don't look fucked up. Like, you still got all your limbs. I was like, I'm glad I do. But those instances, that's where a lot of people try to say, oh, you don't look like you're disabled. You're a disabled veteran, but it don't look like that. I'm sorry. There's no proper way of people being able to see that my degenerative disc disease has my disc slipping every now and then. People don't got x-ray vision. People don't see through my body and see, oh, damn, his shit is fucked up. Oh, he had a labrum tear. Can't see that he fucking had that shit. I was just like, oh, he has anxiety. I haven't seen somebody have a sign that every time they're about to have a panic attack, the shit just starts flickering and just letting everybody know, like, hey, veteran about to have a panic attack. Or shit, let alone anybody having a fucking panic attack. Nobody sees it when somebody gets triggered by PTSD of something that happens, maybe a smell, maybe an action, maybe a movement, or maybe something you picked up, or maybe something you saw, or maybe somebody said. Those are things that can't be measured. And that's the thing that I think that we have to disconnect sometimes with the civilian population and any other population that doesn't serve in the military, where they don't understand that. They don't understand the fact that not everything is a visual capability of seeing. You don't see every disability that a veteran has. If you go into the Code of Federal Regulations, which if you're on the YouTube, I'll be able to show you. On TikTok, I can't really do it. But if you go to the Code of Federal Regulations, it basically shows you a list of all the diagnostic codes. So numerical index of disabilities. It goes from 5,000 to almost like 9,000. So there's over like 3,000 because some are skipped, some have been removed, some have been joined up with other disability claims. So that's all in there. But there's over 5,000 different claims, or over 3,000 different claims that a veteran can file for. Now, if anybody that didn't serve in the military, or shit, sometimes people that even served in the military would take the time just to see all the different things that a person can claim, you would understand that a lot of these things are not visually able to see. Like, if you have gas reflux, can you notice that off of somebody? If a person has irritable bowel syndrome, can you notice that off of somebody? If a person deals with migraines, can you notice that off of somebody? Those are things that you can't see. Morning, Cindy. Those are the things that you can't see, but a lot of people don't understand that. So there's a lot of judgment, I would say, that gets passed when it comes to veterans. It was just like, oh, you don't look that fucked up. I was just like, well, yeah, because if I'm heavily medicated, you can't tell that part either, can you? You can't tell that I'm under all this medication. I may be seeming okay, but you can't tell I'm all medicated. You don't see the damn pharmacy you got to open up every time in the morning. You got to start taking all this shit because it's just like, well, I need to take this for this. I need to take this for that. Well, I definitely need to take this one. I can't miss out on this one. And it was just like, most people don't see that and don't understand that. But over 3,000 different claims of that happening, and people don't see it as a, this is what's going on kind of thing. These people may be dealing with something that you cannot get a visual of. That doesn't mean that they are not disabled. People filing for disability as veterans, people that have never served in the military, or even some veterans themselves, because some don't understand. You are filing your disability claims. You're not filing somebody else's disability claims. You are filing your own. You have to take care of yourself. You're seeing it through your lens. You're not seeing it through somebody else's lens. There's always somebody that's going to be like, well, I did this and I did that. In the military, they always try to make it like a dick measuring contest. Like, oh, I did this. Well, I did this many times. So I did this. And there's always somebody that did more than you. In the military, there's always somebody that did more than you. No matter how cool and badass you thought you were, somebody else has a story that beats yours that's actually real. But at the same time, it's how you file your claims. Because imagine that, 3,000 different things. Out of all of those 3,000 things, a lot of them you can't even see. One of the ones you can see is, like, most people don't know that they can actually file for scars. So if you have scars that were caused during your time in the military, you can actually file for that. Those are things that are in there that are visible, but people don't know about that. People don't realize that for each finger that you have arthritis on, that's 10%. But most people don't know that because they just think it's just like, oh, back issues, sleep apnea, migraines, dislocated, whatever. It was just like, there's a lot of stuff that's in there that people need to realize and don't understand, that it's just like, these things are part of disabling you. These are things that you are going through that a random person will not see. So you cannot take judgment or listen to anybody else that served in the military and them try to tell you about how to file for a disability claim or what it is. This is how it affects you. You are the one being affected. It is not someone else being affected. It is how it affects you. What another veteran or another person cares or says means not a fucking thing. Not one fucking thing. Yes, the VA does cover mental health, Cindy. The issue that we have with mental health problems is that a lot of veterans don't want to get the help. A lot of veterans have that stigma of while they were in service, where it's just like, hey man, you can't go get seen. You go get seen, you ain't gonna be able to do your job, or you ain't gonna be able to get promoted, or we just gonna end up kicking you out. That's a lot of the stuff and a lot of the thought process that a lot of veterans get while they were in service, where they were told you going and getting seen is a problem. You not getting mental health is this, that's frowned upon. It was just like, stop being weak. You ain't weak. You a fucking American service member. You ain't weak. I was like, man up. Drink some water. You know what? Take a knee, drink some water. You'll be all right. I was just like, you go through all that and you see all those things, and it's just like veterans keep that mentality. Some veterans got institutionalized a bit too much. Some veterans got, the water, don't forget the Motrin. Don't forget the 800 milligrams. don't forget that shit. And don't forget your energy drink and maybe a can of fucking can of Zyn. I never dipped, so. But I ended up, I smoked cigarettes randomly. That was part of the military. That stopped. After I got out of the military, it stopped. It was just like something I did. It was just say, you know what? I need to get the fuck up out of here. I just need a fucking, let me take these people get all these damn breaks. I need one right now. Those are these people, I'm about to slap somebody right now. I need a break. But those are things that people don't see. People don't understand that. They don't go through the process of understanding that these are things that service members go through. It's a mental toll that veterans and military service members go through without even realizing that they're going through it. If you are being told that you shouldn't be doing something, then it gets ingrained in your head that maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe you shouldn't be going to get mental health. Maybe you shouldn't be seeing a therapist. Maybe you should stop seeing your therapist. But none of those people care about you. The whole hurry up and wait is a mental state. Put it like this, Carson. That's a good thing. This is something that people don't realize. The hurry up and wait causes you anxiety. And most veterans don't understand that. Because you hurry up because wherever you're doing stuff, some people still have it in their head. I got to be there 15 minutes early. No matter what, you don't have to be there 15 minutes early or 15 minutes to the 15 minutes. You don't have to do that no more. But the anxiety that you feel when you see a time is like, shit, I got to be there 15 minutes prior. For some people, that doesn't leave. For some people, it's just like, shit, I got to be there 15 minutes. I was like, no, the fuck you don't. You can just show up. They still going to have you sitting and waiting. It was just like, just make it at your appointment time. But otherwise, what's going to happen? 15 minutes earlier don't mean you get taken care of 15 minutes prior. But that's an anxiety issue that a lot of veterans deal with, that they don't understand. That's a form of anxiety. But military service members and veterans don't associate that. And they wouldn't think of getting a diagnosis for anxiety when it's just like, hey, you have to make sure that when you're sitting in a restaurant, you see everything. That's being anxious. When you can't enjoy the meals at a restaurant, that's being anxious because you're watching the entrances, you're watching the exits, you're watching when your food come in, you're watching when your food leave, you're watching everybody as they get seated. That's anxiety. That's you being nervous. The thing is anxiety is different for everybody. Some people have panic attacks. Other people get jittery. some people just like it's so ingrained in them that they don't. It was like, yep, you watch everything, any kind of movement you don't enjoy, like, and it was just like that was one thing that I had to try to work on, even though I still deal with it, and that was something because it was like my kids noticed it with me. Why are you always looking around? And it's just like that's when it hit me, and I was just like, oh, I was like, we don't, people don't normally do this. People don't just like make sure they know where the exits are, make sure they see what's going on, they see who comes in and who comes out. It was just like they know how to get out the place. Nobody else does that. And it was just like you start looking at it like shit. Your kid just called you out like, why are you doing that? And I'm just like, and that's when I was just like, it got stuck on me when my kid asked me like, why are you doing this? And it's just like I couldn't come up with an answer. Yeah, it's not normal, but it's out for a lot of veterans. That's the normal, but it's just like I couldn't come up with an answer. I was just like, that's something. That's something. Oh, I don't even want to do that. I don't want to cancel that. Unpin. I don't want that shit. It was just like, but that's the thing. You know the amount of people that go through it that don't recognize these issues. A lot of people don't recognize it. A lot of vets don't recognize the PTSD they deal with. A lot of vets don't like. Look, let's go to the table of the CFR, and I'll just go to mental health, mental disorders, right? Because they give you a breakdown of the different things you can deal with. But most people don't do that because a lot of veterans also fail to realize that when you go through these situations, you ain't a fucking doctor. You don't know what the hell you dealing with. You just think it's your everyday fucking self just dealing with the same shit. You don't look at it as just like, you know what? This is something I'm dealing with. I was like, no, some people don't realize it. It's just like, oh shit. I was like, look, you got schizophrenia. You got delusional disorder. You got schizoaffective disorder. You got delirium. Neurocognitive disorders. You got anxiety disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic disorder, panic disorder, depersonalization, dissociative amnesia, which y'all ever notice when y'all driving? This is the one that I tie that one to. The disassociative, the amnesia part is you forgetting, but the disassociation of when you driving. What's up, Jordan? I was like, y'all ever been driving and then realized you were fucking driving? You don't know how far you went. You don't know how many red lights you ran. You don't know how many stop signs you ran. You don't know how many fucking turns you missed. But then you realized you were driving. That's disassociation. He's like, wait, that's what that is? Yes. Yes. That is disassociation because you're disassociating yourself from driving. Yup. See, there you go. You just learned something. That is you disassociating your driving. That you get lost in your thoughts so much that you disassociate the fact that you are actually driving. That then you realize, and it's just like, bro, how the fuck did I make it home? And it's always, because then the thing is like you always do that little freak out while you driving because you realize you were driving. But your body basically put you on autopilot to drive and you didn't get into an accident or anything. You actually stayed. I think you stay in the lanes better when you do that shit than you actually do stay in the lane when you're actually paying attention to driving for some weird fucking reason. It was just like, and then you just be like, yo, look at the time. It's like, damn, I got here early too. Like, how the fuck did I get here? I was just like, I don't remember even crossing this. It was like, because the thing is you start realizing it more when there's always like a specific thing that you pass. So like a specific area or a specific sign, a building or something that you always recognize when you're doing your drive. But you don't remember seeing that shit because you already made it past it. on the turnpike. It happens a lot to people. But that's not only something associated with being a veteran, but that's something that veterans do deal with. It was just like when you driving and driving and driving in the military, when you driving and you dead ass tired and you just drive and don't even realize that you made it to the fucking spot in the field, you gonna fucking put everything down. That's the noticeable part. But that's disassociation. And that's something that people don't realize. And it was what else we got? We got somatic symptom disorder, bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, chronic adjustment disorder, unspecified depressive disorder. Because the thing is there's different things to it. There's different things when it comes to mental health. It's not just anxiety, depression. That's what most people think. One minute I was by MetLife Stadium. Next thing I know, I'm at Delaware. Yep. And you just cruise. Like there's traffic in front of you. And you will just keep on driving and not even fucking realize that you drove all the way here. It was like, bro, how did I get fucking 10 miles out and not realize I was 10 miles out? Or the other one that most people don't realize is when you start speeding. That's one of the ones that I think most people do more than some people tend to forget. Other people tend to tune out. And the next thing you know, you doing fucking 85 in a fucking 65. And you're like, yo, you trying to slam on the brakes and shit. But then you got like 3 cars that are just following. I was like, bro, he's already going fucking 85. Might as well go with it. Hey, convoy. And everybody just fucking behind you, just zooming. But then you realize it was like, bro, when the fuck did I start going this fast? Because you just started hitting the accelerator without noticing. And you either jamming out to a song or you started thinking about something. Next thing you know, your ass is speeding. And then it's just like, then you see the whoop whoop. You see the lights come up and everything. It's like, oh, shit. Yep, that Civic convo. Those are the best things. You be on there the whole convo. You just have a lineup and everybody just speeding. And it was just like cops look at it, just like, bro, at least they all going at the same speed. Like, what am I gonna fucking do? I can't stop all of them. I was like, I'm gonna go for the last one. If you're the last one in the convoy, you usually fucked because the first one gets away. Then you got or depending on what the cop wants to do, the first one or the last one are usually the victims of getting stopped when you have that little civilian convoy where it's just like zooming. But most of the time, it's somebody that didn't realize how fucking fast they were going, that they ended up going so fast that everybody was just like, well, he's doing it. Might as well. He's in the left lane. We hauling ass all together. But those are things that is just like people, a lot of veterans don't get diagnosed with the proper stuff. And that's what basically I'm trying to like allude to. Like you have all these different mental disorders that are disability ratings. And most veterans don't know about them. Most veterans just know anxiety. He said I had to mess up my head, bro. Bro, that's what I do. Like most of the time, that's why I was doing this, because the thing is a lot of people don't think this way. A lot of people don't understand these things. These are things that are pertinent to veterans when it comes to filing disability claims. Because a lot of people have a lot of shit. They just don't know they have it. If you do that shit all the time, it's just like, shit, when I go to my therapist, it happens all the time. And I tell my therapist it happened again. And she was like, what? I was just like, I made it here. She's like, oh, you just made it here? I was like, yep, I got in my car. I'm here now. I don't remember the fucking lights. I don't remember getting here. I don't remember stopping at anything. It was just like, and that's what it is. You get diagnosed for this stuff. But the thing is you have to be able to show that you're dealing with these issues. Because that would mean you would have to go to a therapist. That would mean you would have to talk to a therapist. That would mean that you would have to apply those things. No, you good. All of us are good. The thing is it's the management of it that we don't understand. And that's why I want all veterans and people just to get mental health. Because the thing is it's not about, we can't be fixed, as the best way of putting it. We can't be fixed, but we're not damaged goods either. We're not damaged goods. We just have a little flaw that needs taking care of. We have a little flaw that needs to have a bit more attention for us to be the people that we usually are. We're not damaged goods. We just have to look at it in a way. Yeah, you just got, it's something you have to fix. And that's a lot of veterans take that as just like, yeah. A lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people don't get that visualization of, hey, it's not, you're not broken. You're not useless. You're not a good that nobody wants. It's like that's the thing that people fail to realize. Good morning, Annette. Oh, I didn't even realize Annette had a message. Sorry about that, Annette. Maryland I-95 car pulls everyone over. The officer in the middle of the highway pointing to the side of the road. Oh, they pull you over. Yeah, I've seen that. In California, when I was in California, they also merged. The cops would merge and they get in front of everybody and then they start going back and forth in the lanes. Just basically like to tell everybody, hey, slow the fuck down. It was like, y'all all speeding. So they'll go and cross in between lanes. Like, we don't want to give you a ticket, but y'all need to slow the fuck down because y'all going too fast. So thank you, Annette. I graduate on Friday. I still got work to do. So today won't be a long session. And I feel like I'm getting sick too, which sucks, but yeah, and that's the thing. Thank you, Jordan. I was like, that's one of the main things that a lot of people don't understand. Also, it's we don't get enough diagnosis. While you were in service, you didn't get diagnosed with the shit you were supposed to get diagnosed with. Cause you need to be deployable. You need to be deployable. They ain't give a fuck what's wrong with you. We giving you a temporary profile. Once that shit is gone, you deployable. If you have major depressive disorder, that limits you from being able to deploy. That limits you from being able to go to a range. You can't be a safety if you mentally not there. It was like, those are the things that affect, but then sometimes it was just overblown over proportion where people wouldn't get help because that's what they heard. Like, oh, well, if you have depression and stuff like that, they're just gonna put you on profile, they'll put you on medication, that you won't be able to drive, you won't be able to do all this shit. And then people get scared of that. It was just like, bro, it's depression, but there's certain levels to it. It's not just, I'm gonna just hurt people. There's different levels to depression. There's different levels to anxiety. There's different levels to obsessive compulsive disorder. There's different levels to that. And some people just don't understand that. It doesn't affect everyone the same way. So how you filed your disability claim doesn't mean the same way from, I have PTSD. You may have PTSD. Your PTSD may be caused because of an IED. Mine could have been because of a firefight. It was like, those are two different instances. But I can't tell the severity of what you went through or what I went through just off of my story, because it's, how does it affect you on the long run? How does it affect you after the fact? How is it affecting you after you've gone through the process of understanding what it is you went through? Most people that doesn't get understood by a lot of people, but it's just like you get misdiagnosed. So for a lot of veterans, they go off of the diagnosis that is given to them while in service instead of actually doing the legwork to check themselves out after. You have to check and see what was wrong with you after service. Get another doctor to verify. Because remember, a lot of these PAs in the military didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. And I know y'all can attest to that. Because water and Motrin is not the remedy for fucking everything. Water and Motrin isn't the fucking remedy for everything. Because if that's the case, I would have been doing that shit way before the fucking military. It was like, oh, all I need is water, some Motrin, and a fucking energy drink, and maybe a cigarette afterwards, and I'm cured? Shit. The fuck I need to go see this person for? If that was the case, ain't nobody would have. Why would we bother to do this? Why would we bother to get into this situation if all I had to do was take water, some Motrin, call it a day, keep it rocking? Yeah, you get naproxen for everything. Anything. Torn labrum, naproxen. Dislocated shoulder, naproxen. Degenerative disc disease, naproxen. Uh, sprained ankle, naproxen. Um, shit. Anything except like if you got migraines, they'll think about giving you naproxen, but it's like, now we got a different medication for that. Here's that medication, and it's just like they'll give you all this stuff, but it's just like, see, I actually do a lot of pain when I'm. It's just like, but that's what people have gotten. Naproxen doesn't fix much, but that's what they gave you, because the thing is they didn't want to put you on actual painkillers, even though you could have been showing that you needed them. You could have been in that process of, hey, I need this assistance. I need this help. I have a dislocated disc in my back. Naproxen ain't gonna fucking fix that. Or if I got a pinched nerve off of my dislocated disc, naproxen ain't gonna fix a pinched nerve. Your arm just starts going numb, or your leg starts going numb. Naproxen ain't gonna fix that shit. Because naproxen is not gonna move your disc right back into place and be like, all right, we good to go. It was like, there's certain things, and that's the thing, for everybody, it's a different trigger. Like Vegas, it's just like, fireworks is a big thing. But then, like I said, going into places that have a lot of people. Imagine me being from New York City. You know how many fucking people we got? And I don't like even being in that city anymore. Too many fucking people. Too much shit to try to pay attention to. Too many people that are just too fucking random. Fucking 90 degrees outside and the motherfucker wearing a coat in New York because it's a fashion statement. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what? Like, and you just keeping an eye on this person because this person just looks so out of fucking place that you're just like, a coat, bro? It's 90 fucking degrees. Fuck is he doing with a coat? This shit don't look right. You're just watching him like, yo, what do you got under the coat? You could have been doing whatever you were doing, and it's just like, and that's why it's like, I'm from New York City. I don't live there anymore. In New York City, it's everything. Because the Bronx is wild to me now. Well, yeah, Washington Heights for me has always been wild. All the boroughs have always been wild, but it's just like, or short snow when it's snowing. It's like you start seeing them, it's just like, well, that one is different because it's like they ain't got nothing covering themselves. So it's just like, that's one thing. But when you got a big ass North Face fucking bubble coat and it's fucking hot outside, what you up to? What you trying to hide under that coat? That shit don't make no sense. I was just like, and those are the things that's just like, that's anxiety, y'all. That might be PTSD from your deployment when you were on a patrol or you were on a foot patrol or you were just kicking doors down. You saw something weird, it just stuck out to you. So when you go back home and now you got nothing but fucking thousands of people walking in Times Square or walking all over the place, and you just like fuck this shit. I was like, this is not fucking good for my health. So you fucking leave. But those are things that people don't realize, that those can be caused by anxiety, can be caused by stress. They can be caused because of depression. Those are things that veterans do not assign to themselves because they don't know the symptoms. Most veterans, what they know is have you had, if side effects may be, that's like all the infomercials that they always told you what the side effects were. You be like, I got that. It's like, fuck, I might have that. It's just like, they read off all those side effects and you just be like, shit, I got all them shits on that list. Do I have this now? Then it's just like, you didn't even know. You might have all the fucking symptoms of whatever it is you thought you had, but a lot of those things connect. A lot of those things connect are in the same situation, in the same position where you don't even realize that it's like, oh shit, that's what's going on. I was like, I do have this with depression. I do have this with delirium, or I could have bipolar. I could be bipolar and not know I'm bipolar. I switch fucking my mood switch and the way I act switches so quickly sometimes that I don't even realize that maybe it is a bit of bipolar. You just thought you were having a bad day. Or maybe you didn't have your Snickers for the day. You know how you get when you don't get your Snickers. But that could actually be being bipolar. You wouldn't know. You didn't get diagnosed for it. You didn't get checked for it. You didn't actually talk to a professional that could tell you what it is that you're dealing with. The same way when it comes to the doctor with anything musculoskeletal or anything with your body, you have to go and talk to somebody to see what they tell you. Because the military told you one thing. The military put it in your records in as one way. The military put it for me that I just had a back strain, even though I had a dislocated disc. Went through physical therapy, went through all that. That whole time I had a dislocated disc. They just put it as I had a back strain. So that's what I filed in my disability claim, back strain. And then when I went to the CMP examiner, the CMP examiner saw my fucking MRIs and shit. It was just like, you know, you've had a dislocated disc? I was like, that's news to me. I was like, really? Okay, now that might explain this shit that it hasn't gotten fixed. Physical therapy hasn't worked. So they misdiagnosed me the whole time and weren't giving me the proper treatment for what I actually had. So when you get out of the military, you should get that physical that they give you at the end when you get out the military. Cool, take it, get all that information. Bring it now to your regular doctor, the first doctor you ever see, and be like, look, these are all the issues I've gone through while I was in service. I would just like to get a second opinion through these things to see if I actually have it, if it's something that's worse, or whatever the case. And a lot of veterans don't do that. A lot of veterans don't go get that next checkup for whatever, because they just be like, you know what, I'm good. Yeah, I know, Jordan. Oh, I know. I found out because it's physical therapy for everything: shoulder, hip, back, knees, ankles, everything is physical therapy. No matter what, you're right. No matter what thing you had, it was physical therapy. If it was something to do with your body, your joints, your movement, physical therapy was the answer. With some ibuprofen and Motrin and Naproxen. And you were good to go. You were fit to fight. But that's what it is. A lot of diagnoses goes unchecked. And that's why I say with the Code of Federal Regulation, it has all this information here of all these different disabilities that you can file for. Are you going to fall into all of them? No. He said, what the Yep, get back out there. You know exactly how that was. What's up, JC? I was just like, you know exactly how that was. It was just like, you got the ibuprofen and all that. You got physical therapy. All right. Ruck March tomorrow. Bro, what? I was like, you know, I'm on profile. Oh, you could just ruck. You can walk the whole way. You know, I have a dislocated back. You could just walk. You don't have to ruck. You could just walk the whole thing. Don't put the 45, 55, 65, 75 pounds in your bag. Just walk the whole thing. Like, I have a fucked up back. Do you not understand the part that I shouldn't be walking for that fucking long? I was like, nah, you'll be all right. Yeah, and that's the thing. We did it too. People would break their profile all the fucking time and not realize it. But when you did it and they did it, it was just like, then they'd be like, oh, you broke your profile, so you weren't good. Motherfucker, you just told me to fucking do this shit. I was just like, a soldier not knowing any better is what? They're gonna go and they're gonna do that ruck. Dislocated disc and everything. I was just like, he said, just stretch and be okay. And that's the honest truth about it. That is like all these different things. See, look at this. I didn't even know that you can claim eyelashes loss. I just saw this one. You can claim if you lost your eyebrows or if you lost your eyelashes within service, maybe it was off a burn or something like that, or something happened. You can actually claim that as a disability claim. I didn't fucking know that till just now. I'm looking at the CFR. If you're on the YouTube page, you can see what I'm looking at. But eyebrow loss and eyelash loss. I have to see what it is. I don't even know what the fuck that falls. I didn't even know that existed. Yep, 10%. You can get 10% for loss of eyebrows, complete, unilateral, or bilateral. And you can get 10% for loss of eyelashes, complete, unilateral, or bilateral. All in the CFR. And it's just like that. There's stuff here that it was just like, if you got bunions, you can file for that shit too. Yep, exactly, Vegas. That's the thing. There's so much shit in the CFR that most people have no fucking idea exist. And some of these people go through these things. So a lot of the time it's just like when it comes to disability claims, a lot of people just want those big number ones. When it's just like at the end of the day, if you actually file all the shit that you actually are dealing with, you'll up your percentages up that way, and then you will still probably need a larger number one. But the fact that you have everything else in addition to it helps. Yep, flat feet is another 110. A lot of people don't claim that because they don't realize that they have flat feet. I had to claim that, and I got fucking they gave me inserts. The VA provided me with free inserts. You go, they take a mold of your foot, they make inserts for it, and you go do that. I got inserts to put into my shoes now to help me fucking with walking and not having a fucking issue. Even though one leg is fucking shorter than the other now. Not by much, but it's shorter. But that's because I had a fucking tear in my labrum that they just said was fucking a hip contusion. Yep, you get those inserts and you get that stuff and it's there. All that stuff is there. But it's that you have to find what it is that you have. You have to understand what it is that you have. You have to understand that there's all these claims that are there, but you have to know that you have it. If you got flat feet, but don't know you got flat feet, you can't file for flat feet. Your hips is always messed up, your back is hurting or something like that. It shoots up through your leg. You got shin splints because of it also. Must be because my feet is fucked up. But nobody thinks about it like that. Everybody be like, man, it was all them rucks. It was running all these fucking miles for no fucking reason. Most people don't understand that. And it's like, it gives you a breakdown on all the stuff because the thing is it's in numerical order also in the CFR. So it'll tell you like, okay, this is what's in the digestive system. If you got GERD, you got irritable bowel syndrome. Even if you have like, you end up getting like cancer. So you can have like liver cancer, gallbladder cancer, anything like that. If you have residuals of you having that surgery for it, you can file that as a claim for having residuals. And that's a percentage also. See, look, they even got intestine, small resection, intestine, large resection, hemorrhoids. Simple one that people deal with. You know what it is eating all them fucking MREs out in the fucking field. But it's just like a listing of all these things that you can go through and deal with that most people just don't know. And those are things that is just like, hey, no problem, Carson. It's just like information like this is vital for veterans because most veterans don't know this. Most veterans don't understand that. It's just like, yes, some people want to file for these disability claims, and I understand that. You want to file for disability claims, but you have to make sure that you are filing for everything that's going on. You have to pay attention to that. You have to understand that, hey, I have this, I have that. I'm dealing with this. Am I being diagnosed with this? Or do I actually have this? Or is it something else? Because degenerative disc disease is degenerative disc disease. But if you don't get it properly annotated, they're not going to see degenerative disc disease. If you don't go and get an MRI that shows that your disc is sideways, yeah, it has to be in your record, or you have to prove that it happened within your military time. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, because the thing is the biggest issue is service connection. You want to be service connected. Doesn't matter how fucking severe it is. You want to be service connected. You want to have the documentation and information to show you are service connected. Because over time, we getting older. Our body doesn't fucking recuperate. Our body doesn't fucking heal. It heals in certain aspects, but degenerative disc disease, cartilage doesn't grow back. So down the road, that same disc can get worse. I was like, for some of them, the thing is like if you become 100% PNT, you can start getting assistance for that and they'll still take care of you. Because I had issues with my feet, but I said I had these issues and I had these problems and I filed for it. Or did I file? I don't remember if I filed for flat feet or not because I didn't realize it till after the fact. And that's when I got assistance with it. But that was the CMP examiner that put that in there because that's when I went to do a claim for my ankle. And the CMP examiner saw, I was just like, you know what? You got flat feet. I was like, did you know you have flat feet? No. You got flat feet. I was like, that's probably what's causing even more friction and tension between your ankle and your legs and your hips because you have that. I was just like, yeah, I'm 100% PNT. I was like, that's why I was just like, oh, okay. But that was the CMP examiner that did that. That wasn't through the military. I was just like, because I was in the service. They checked me out and everything. Ain't nobody tell me I had flat feet then. 10 years of fucking rucking, running, doing all this dumb shit. And nobody told me I had flat feet till after the fact. It's like, that's why your hips is kind of displaced. That's why you've had this issue. That's why it led to you getting that labrum tear because of the fact that you were always lopsided. And I was just like, oh, it all makes sense now. But it didn't make sense to any fucking doctor while I was serving. While I was serving, not one of these fucking doctors put all of that shit together. Then I spoke to a doctor out here, outside the military. And it was like, well, you deal with this, you had this, so this would lead to this. So that then that issue causes issue with this. That's why you've had issues with that, which then probably led to this. So you literally just kept fucking yourself up down the road. You just didn't know how to fix it from the get-go. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be as fucked up as you are now. And I was like, gee, thanks. This would have been good to know before I joined or while I was in that this could cause so much fucking havoc on my fucking body on the back end of my life. Just because you kept on doing the stuff that you thought it was normal. And you didn't file for it and you didn't understand to file for it. And then all of a sudden you ran into the problem where here you are doing that. But all those things connect. Everything connects. That's why when it comes to even when you're doing like secondary claims help in that issue because of those stuff and those things connecting. Because that's where a lot of people file those disability claims and those secondary claims because those secondary claims come in that reason. You had that ankle issue, which led to your knee getting fucked up, which now since your knee was fucked up, that shit led to your hip getting fucked up. And now since your hip is doing, you've had lower back issues. Now your sciatica's flaring up. Look at all the fucking things I just diagnosed you with. All you thought was that it was just like, oh, it just hurts. Or I'm just getting old, bro. That's it. Just like, I'm getting old. I was like, I sound like a box of fucking Rice Krispie treats when I fucking wake up. It's normal. It's okay. You hear the snap, crackle, and pop when you fucking wake up and get out the bed. And you thought it was just normal. It was just like, oh, I'm just getting old. No, bro, that's not normal. You're not supposed to sound like a Rice Krispie box getting out the fucking bed. It's just not supposed to be that way. It was like some things might snap, crackle, and pop, but you ain't supposed to sound like the whole shit going on. or your body sounds like, you know, when you have those like bubble wraps, those big ass bubbles that you just like squeeze them and fucking turn them and everything starts popping. That's when your body starts like, you ain't supposed to be going through all that. You might, but you ain't supposed to be dealing with all that. That's shit that happens that you're not supposed to deal with. But those are things is just like the diagnosis of it. But then it's also going into your medical records and identifying those things. Because the thing is it could have been a misdiagnosis. So you might be filing for it, but if you have a medical professional explaining to you what could have caused it off of the diagnosis that they gave you while in service, you use that to connect it to the issue you're dealing with. A lot of people don't make that connection. Because the thing is yes, I had a back strain. It was a dislocated disc. But once the doctor saw my medical evidence, the x-ray and all that stuff, it was like, yo, you had degenerative disc disease and you had a dislocated disc this whole time. It wasn't a back strain. It was like they classified it as a back strain, but you were just misdiagnosed and you've been dealing with this because this shows that your back has been deteriorating for some time. This didn't happen before, and you've claimed it since this time period. You had migraines since this time period. You had sleep apnea. You got the study done while in service at this time period. Then it goes into you have it, and it's progressively gotten worse. So that's a diagnosis also. But those are things that you have to pay attention to. Those are the things that most people don't pay attention. And then what was it that I wanted to talk about too? I wanted to talk about this whole National Center for Warrior Independence for Homeless Veterans. I wanted to touch on that executive order that was signed. Because when you read what they put in the executive order and then the statements that they make of it, it's interesting to me that they do it. Because one of the parts that it shows up on VA News, which I will share that screen so people can see it also. So I'm just not coming up with stuff. After decades of mismanagement, VA has been leasing parts of its 388-acre West Los Angeles VA Medical Center campus to a wealthy and exclusive private school and the University of California, Los Angeles baseball team. Leasing. Not just letting them use it. So literally, people were using parts of the LA Medical Center that were not being used by the VA, yet they were paying for it. But the VA this administration is trying to say, oh, well, we're going to use it as is intended, which all understandable. But if the VA wasn't using those locations in the first place because they had all this space and they were leasing it out, that means that they weren't wasting money on these things because somebody else was paying for it. The other thing about this executive order that I find interesting is that they want to talk about the homeless veterans getting vouchers for homes. That was already in fucking place. It's called the HUD-VASH program. That was already in place. So literally, I don't know if it's that this administration wants to try to take credit or something that's already there, because most veterans don't know that there's the HUD-VASH program. The program is there basically to ensure that veterans either don't become homeless, avoid it at all costs, help their families to transition to make sure they don't get to that point, but that's always been there. For homeless veterans, it's been the voucher system where they can receive a voucher to actually go and try to get housing using those vouchers. But this administration is trying to claim it like we're developing this. I was like, no, you're not developing this. This is not something new. This was something that was already there. Because it even says that we're going to celebrate the vast majority of VA employees who do a great job every day, hold employees accountable when they fall short of the mission, and work to fix the wait time and backlog issues that developed during the Biden administration. And the problem I have with this is that a lot of people just don't know how the system works. A lot of people don't take outside information and put it together to understand that there is a backlog issue. That wasn't caused by a specific administration. It happened during the Biden administration. But it happened because of the PACT Act, which enabled and allowed over 2 extra million claims to be filed for veterans to get assistance. The backlog didn't come from the previous administration not having the ability or increasing it. Because remember, the previous administration also hired thousands of people to counteract all the extra claims that came in because of now all these Vietnam veterans, all these Gulf War veterans, all these Afghan and Iraq veterans are filing their claims for toxic exposure. It wasn't that they just decided to be lazy. You just had such an influx of new people filing claims that you hadn't seen in years. You know what it is to get an extra 2 million claims when you don't even get that many throughout the years? And you've gotten an extra 2 million claims in the past 2.5 years. They hired people, but these same people that are hired are the same ones that are being fired by this administration. Because those are probationary period people that they are firing. If you got hired during the Joe Biden administration, when the PACT Act came out in 2022, in August of 2022, that means that you were probably in that probationary period if you got hired anytime after that. From 2022, August of 2022 to December 24th of 24, you got hired during that time period, you're on probationary period. Because remember, you got to do it for 2 years. So some of these people are on probationary period and they're getting removed. So the same people that were hired to make sure the backlog was taken care of, all these claims are being processed and were being assisted with. All those people are most of the ones that are going to be removed these next coming months. So it's not that the administrations are doing a bad thing. It's just the management has been terrible. Yeah, for most, if you look at a lot of the federal level jobs, they have 1 to 2 year probationary periods. It's not just a 1 year probationary period or 6 months. Some of them have like a 2 year probationary period because some of these jobs are not meant to stay there the whole time. So with the VA, basically those claims jobs, excuse me, they were supposed to have those claims jobs to go through the influx of all these people filing for the PACT Act. But after that, then they were slowly going to start removing people. After they got the backlog down, after they got these claims down, they weren't going to be hiring as many people, and they were just going to be keeping the people they had. But that doesn't get explained to people. People just think that it's just like people ain't doing anything. And that's the part that's annoying to me, because it's just like, it can be 1 to 2 years, depending on what the thing is. But if you got hired during that administration, during that time period, you fell in that. It's just like, but that's the thought process, and that's the problem that we have in this country right now, where a lot of this stuff is being thrown out like a she said this, he said that, he did this, and it's just like, removal of this, removal of that. We're saving money here, we're cutting costs there, but we don't know where the money's actually going back into. That's already a problem. Like, and then Doug Collins had that he had that briefing not too long ago where he was just like, "Oh, we don't have a plan yet of how we're going to do this." So it's just like, your plan was to just fire people just to fire them, but not actually have a plan on how to fix the situation. So you weren't actually helping the situation. You basically are making it worse. Oh yeah, I know. And the whole work from home, you can't work from home, you have to come into the office nonsense. That was another bullshit thing too. That is just like, so you made people come home or come back in when it wasn't there. Yes, exactly. That's the question. How are they spending this fraudulent spending? Because you're cutting all this money. You've saved all this money on contracts, redundancy, all the DEI initiatives, all the nonsense that they want to come up with. But then you don't know how you're going to put the money back into the system. You want to make a LA center for homeless, a national center for warrior independence for homeless veterans. You want to base it out of LA. Mind you, LA has a large population of that, but it's also a big tourist area. So they just want to make sure to clean it up. That's all it is. They just want to clean up LA because there's homeless veterans all across the states. Every state has a homeless veteran somewhere. If you're going to do something like this, because all this money you saved, you should be able to ensure that each state, each VA medical center has a homeless outreach group. That's something that the VA secretary should be able to say. That's something they should be able to do. Like, you know what? We are ensuring that now with this executive order, every state will have an office to manage and take care of our homeless veterans. You want me to be proud of what you're doing? Do it the right fucking way. Do it the right fucking way. You chose Los Angeles because Los Angeles has a big population of, there's a lot of wealth there. There's a lot of visibility there. There's a lot of tourism there. So you wanted to make sure to clean up that area because that affects your bottom line. That affects your bottom dollar. It affects everybody else around there because LA doesn't look all that nice when you have homeless people around it. So you wanted to dedicate it there because that was the point. But you have the same thing in other states where you have veterans that have these issues. Veterans have been able to use the HUD-VASH program because it was instituted. Somebody told me it was instituted in 1992. The homeless program was there. The whole voucher process for veterans that came around, I think it was like 2021, 2020, 2022, around there. So literally veterans being able to use a voucher has not been there that long. But this is information that is not given to veterans. This is information that was out there. So when you saw a homeless veteran, instead of making sure, you're just like, hey, are you a homeless veteran? Did you know that you can use a voucher to get into a home or a living area or somewhere where you can stay at? That information doesn't get passed out. Shit, the information of how you file a disability claim doesn't get passed out. The information of, hey, you can get mental health resources without having to have a disability claim ain't out there. The VRE program isn't put out there. Veteran Readiness and Employment Program, that isn't put out there. How to use your GI Bill properly, that isn't put out there. How to use the VA loan isn't put out there. How to use the VA loan with the electric efficiency mortgage clause in it to help put new energy efficient stuff in there. Or the fact that you can actually get a VA loan to actually build your home. Build it. Not just purchase. You can actually build your home. But there's more criteria to it, but it's a possibility that if you wanted to build your home as a veteran, you would get a loan. It's a different loan. Give me a second. Where the fuck is it? One second. Let me just look it up. It is called the VA construction to permanent loan. So a one-time closed construction loan. Because it combines the financing for building and the mortgage into one transaction. So basically the building and the loan are all put into it. So basically you built it and then the mortgage of paying for what you built is there. And you can get that as a loan through the VA. You have to find specific lenders, though, that actually do it. Not all VA lenders like to do the construction ones. But if you find a lender that can do it, you can build a home. Like literally, you can build your dream home. Make sure you got the credit score and all that. Do the due diligence before that. But you have the ability to build your own home. Most veterans don't even know that. So that's all information that is just like not out there. But the thing is with, like I said, I don't like doing political stuff on these Sundays. But this administration is just pushing out stuff that is just like, this is already in place. What are you doing to make it more efficient? Because you made a whole agency of government efficiency, but they are not making anything more efficient. If you have an issue, there's veterans that are homeless all across the country. That means that every state should get a fucking office that is dedicated to eradicate this problem. Because if you're making sure yes, the military does need a better transition to civilian life program. The soldier for life, that shit is trash. But the thing is you also have to make it that the military actually does the right fucking thing. Because the thing is if you're a senior, you get given all the time. If you're a junior soldier, you don't get the same fucking time to go to these classes. What I've always proposed and what I always thought would make fucking sense is, hey, if you are deciding to get out the military, there's no re-upping part. Because they basically changed it that now you can re-up literally the day before you ETS, you can re-up. Change that. You have to make a final decision. I say 4 months out. A decision has to be made 4 months out. If you are deciding that you are getting out of the military, 4 months out, that is your cutoff. At 4 months, you decide, yes, I'm getting out. From then on, for those last 4 months, is you going to SFL TAP classes, you getting your fucking housing done, you getting your vehicle registered or shipped off, or you closing out everything, going to medical, doing all that stuff. The last 4 months you should be in a fucking separate fucking battalion. The get the fuck out battalion. Or the you're getting out battalion. Or even make it 3 months, where that way is just like, you know what? These people do not get interfered with. They have a strict schedule. Monday through fucking Friday, the first 2 weeks is just them going through classes. Not bothered, not touched. That's it. First 2 weeks is all the classes. The second 2 weeks, hey, you got to go to housing. Hey, you got a housing appointment. Hey, you have this. And if you do that on a monthly basis and you do it continuously like that, more service members are better prepared to fucking get out the fucking military, and we don't have the issues that we have now. Because if you have a 3-day fucking class on how to file disability claims, how to do that, you can go through the BDD process, which is the benefits delivery by discharge, which you have to do between that 180-day mark and that 90-day mark, which is why I said 4 months out, because you can schedule everything within that 4-month time period. It still lets you to do that so you can get your disability rating once you're fully out. But if we had that, we would eliminate a lot of problems, because there should be no fucking reason why soldiers have to sign a power of attorney for somebody else to manage what the fuck they did. I shouldn't be leaving my shit to somebody that don't give a shit about me to finish clearing my shit, finish turning in my stuff, finish fucking doing my housing and all that stuff, because I wasn't given the proper time to do that shit in a timely manner. That's the crazy part. A lot of soldiers don't get the time to actually take care of what they need to, and then it falls back onto the problem, because the thing is we're not educating fucking service members properly when it comes to getting out. And the thing is a lot of the times is the VA gets the blame. Yo, what up, Dave? Appreciate you, my man. I was just like, a lot of the times the VA gets the blame. It was like, no, you didn't get taught about the VA loan. You didn't get taught about the the GI Bill. You didn't get taught about the VRE program. You didn't get taught about Chant VA if you got 100%. You didn't get taught of all the damn resources that the VA can provide to you, even if it's like whole health and all of that. Hey, appreciate you subscribing, Carson. It was like, you don't get none of that information there unless you fucking know about it. Unless you happen to stumble into my fucking channel or one of my fucking workshops, and it's just like, oh shit, I didn't even know about that. I was like, that's cool. I just learned something new. I was like, those are the things. It's just like, that's why I did it, because I fell into that. I was just like, a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, a lot of people, yeah, their concern was making sure people didn't get out the military. And a lot of the concern was, how can I fuck this person over as best I can? Appreciate you, Dave. That's what it mostly became also, where a lot of people don't like talking about. It became how can I screw this person over more and not allow him to do everything? Yep, because that's what they wanted. They wanted everybody to fucking do their 20 years. It was like, bro, you've been complaining the last 3 years I've been around you about this shit, and you think I'm gonna make it to 20? That was one of the craziest things for me. It was just like, bro, you complaining about having like 6 years left. Here I am needing another 10, and you want me to be bitter, stressed out, and sour like you for the next fucking 10 years? You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. I was just like, you don't want to do this shit, but you went indefinite, so you have to do this shit. I'm not about to do this just because would it be nice after 20 years? Shit, right now, I would be at 13 years. I'd be a sergeant first class looking at fucking master sergeant right now. That's crazy when I think about it, too. I would be being looked at for master sergeant right now. Yeah, exactly. That's the craziest part. It was like, you complaining about being in the military for so long, but then you expect me to pull all these years out. Bro, have you not seen how old you look? Like, bro, you 25. You look like you 37 right now. And that's not the life I fucking want. I didn't sign up for that shit. It's fucking like, what is it? The Benjamin Button movie? That's how motherfuckers in the army fucking look, or in the military. It was just like, you joined. I was like, damn, this kid, and you just fucking aged drastically. It was like all those memes. It was just like, well, you see here, Smith, he's 25. And it's some old ass crusty dude fucking like trying to drink coffee or some shit. You're just like, what the fuck? But that's what it is. It ages you, but it's just like the preparation isn't there, because that's why one of the reasons I have an issue a lot of the times with people saying that the VA sucks. I was like, no, the military exit program does not fucking train you well enough. We get trained as shit when we going into when we get into basic, we go into MOS, we get trained, but there's no training for dealing with the outside civilian world. There's no training for, hey, I actually have to have insurance to go get a doctor. If active don't get a support system, imagine at the veteran end. The veteran end is just like, hey, it's just like the VA is underfunded because people fail to realize that there's 19 million fucking veterans alive right now. We don't even have half of them actually using the VA. That's the part that people don't understand. We don't even have half of the veteran population using the VA healthcare system. And it's already understaffed and underfunded. But you're not teaching people what goes from one end to the other. You're not teaching people that, hey, you are dealing with this, right? It's just like, this is what's going on. You're not dealing with that. You're not dealing with that. Most people, it's just easy to blame the VA. Like I said, if all these resources were taught to you when you were getting out of the military, or if there was, hey, you're a veteran, here's a fucking pamphlet, which they do have. They have the federal benefits guide, which I have it somewhere. I was like, but they have the Veterans Benefits Guide of 2025 that tells you all the different benefits that are available. Where did I fucking put that file though? I don't remember where I did. That was maybe before my computer crashed. But that's out there. But that should be something that you should be sending out to people. Or even if it's on a little like note card, like you could. That's something that you should send out. You should be able to send out to every single. Say 82nd leads the way. I was like, that's something you should be able to send out to every veteran on a yearly basis. You don't have to send a whole pamphlet because the thing is everything is digital. So you can find a 2025. Let me see, 2025. Where's it at? This 2025. I can't put it into TikTok. But I just put it on the YouTube and on Twitch where you can just check it right there. I just noticed that Dreamer's on Twitch too. But appreciate you tuning in. But that's there. I was just, the army never aged me. I would get these looks from people even when I was for some people it doesn't age. For some it does. It's different for people, but it depends. That was just like that's the part. It was just like the thing is see, Dreamer, he brings up a good question. So the question is, or the statement is, digital is good for the new generation of veterans, but what about the old schools who may or may not have access to digital resources? That's why I say it should be something that can be sent out in the mail. The same way they can send out the postcards or the reminder for fucking your appointments and stuff like that yearly. After this federal benefit for veterans, dependents, survivors, and caregivers gets published, you should be sending out for every single veteran out there that you have their mailing address. You should be sending them a little card, and in the card it should give you the QR code. So that way, if you know how to use a QR code, you can just scan it and boom, now you got the PDF on your phone. Or if you don't want to do that, give them the option to actually be able to mail in that same card back and say you want to request the actual booklet and have them send that shit out. Because now every veteran knows, hey, this is what the benefits are at the federal level for the VA. This is what has changed. This is what's available. This is what's not. So it's not no guessing game or not knowing. States should probably do the same thing too. If you register as a veteran, if you have it on your driver's license, that's visible. That's something they can search up. Hey, we got all these veterans here. We're going to send out this little... Don't send me a digital booklet that's going to be... But that's what I'm saying, Carson. Give people the availability, because the thing is they print these books out. If somebody wants one, you could just send it to them. Send it to them in the mail. If they want a digital version, do it in a digital version. That way you have the availability. That way every fucking veteran knows this is what's happening. This is what's ongoing. These are your benefits for 2025. Yeah, it's like an opt-in clause, but that's what I'm saying. You send that because the thing is they can send you that little postcard. Hey, did you know? And just be like, hey, did you know that the federal benefits have been put out there? So I'll say the community cares. Yeah, the VA, that's why it's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. That's the thing. It was just like that's the thing, Jim. It's just like a lot of things need to be fixed with the VA. The problem is that it has to start. What up, hero? It has to start at the bottom, not work your way from the top down. It has to start from the bottom. What other platforms are you streaming on? I'm currently on Twitch right now. I am on YouTube regular, YouTube vertical, and TikTok, all at the same time, just to try to get as much information out to veterans as possible. Because I know there's different. Where that Twitch link, the Twitch one is just basically just cruise on. So just JUSTCRUZON. And that's the Twitch one. It's hard to do it on TikTok because it's like you don't have the availability to do it. When I do it on the computer, yeah, because the Twitch one, now look, I graduate on Friday. Thank you. We are going to be doing a lot more veteran shit. There's going to be a lot more veteran shit there. So I want to use that Twitch as a gaming thing for veterans. I know there's other organizations and stuff like that, but I want to do things a bit differently. I want to have like fantasy drafts, like fantasy football, fantasy basketball, fantasy baseball, but just have it with veterans doing it like that. And then at the end, have it that is just like, hey, off of donations and all that stuff is just like, this is where we're going to do. Off of donations and everything, that's what the pot is going to be for whoever the winner is at the end of it. So let's say we do a fantasy football league. It'll be multiple leagues depending on how many veterans do it. If you come out on top with the highest thing, that's what you get. Hold on, Jimmy. Give me 1 second. This is the YouTube channel at vetawareproject.com. Appreciate y'all subbing. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just you asking questions. Appreciate y'all joining in on a Twitch, because that's what it is. It's just basically because off of YouTube, the company I created is basically called Veteran Awareness Project. That is the company I created. That is basically what it says. Veteran awareness. It's to bring awareness to veterans. But at the same time, I know veterans like to game. Veterans like to game. Veterans like to have discussion. A Discord is also being created to basically make all this stuff. So basically it's all through that, but it's all basically to build a community for veterans to be able to pass out information to each other. And just keep on educating, keep up to date. The website is also up there, and it's just like that'll be updated where I'll start putting more news, up-to-date information so that people understand that and see that also. So it's just building a whole thing to just be able to make sure that veterans know what the fuck is going on. Yeah, because it's all basically... Grip says, for the record, you was right about the combined claims question last week. I'm glad I was right, Grip. I'm glad I was right. Good to see you. I was just like, but those are the things that is just like, it's just to build the community of it. And it's just like, it's all these things I do right now are free. Down the road, hopefully we can develop into a nonprofit agency. That's down the road. That's not going to happen anytime soon. That's with time. But being able to have these resources free of charge for people is just like these workshops. I'm going to continue doing them every Sunday ongoing. Will I start creating like paid seminars? Yes, that I will do. But that'll be like a paid seminar where this is the main thing. Like the main thing is like, hey, for $50, that's what I'm gonna charge, $50. You will get taught how to file a disability claim, how the process is, how to go through the documentation, stuff like that. Then it'll be different seminars. Then it'll be like, hey, this is the VA loans seminar. This is the GI Bill seminar and stuff like that. But those will be at a lower cost because at the end of the day, it's still me doing them. So at least I have to I have to be able to fund all this stuff, guys. It's just like this is all out of pocket right now. But it's just like still doing stuff that it'll just build community and people be able to understand. Like, hey, you can go to the Veteran Awareness Project, and it's like, hey, if you're a gamer, they have people that like the game too. So if you're a vet and you want to game, play different games, be in a Discord, be in a chat, you'll have that. If you need seminars or classes on specific things, we have this. If you need information or certain documents or templates and stuff like that, the Vet Awareness Project has that in this also. So it's just like all these different things are going to be there just to basically make sure veterans are taken care of. Because there's a lot of things that the VA doesn't do well and they don't see as a priority. Me, the priority is basically making sure veterans are educated on all these things, getting the answers to the questions that they have, finding the information that they didn't know they need the information for. Those are the things that I want to build with this, because that incorporates these things, that brings these things together, and it's just like it brings veterans together, but at the same time, it allows you to assist another veteran in need. Because if you know there's a resource that shows you where the VA forms are, you can go there. Yeah, if we educate, like, look, educating veterans would lessen a lot of the shit there. Lost my DD-214. What's the fastest way to get a copy? You have to go to the records archive. No, it's not VHA publications. I always have it, and I keep on fucking forgetting the link. Hold on. You go to shit, I can't fucking type it in. Yeah, archives.gov. Why didn't I bookmark this shit? Like, well, I've had this shit there for how long? Okay, now it's bookmarked. Archives.gov, and it'll so you go archives.gov/veterans/military-service-records. Or when you go to the National Archives, you can click on the link. Once you get, hold on, let me show you. I could do this on YouTube and show people how to do it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if you're on the YouTube, you can see it there easier. So if you're on TikTok or on Twitch, well, Twitch can see the same thing that I'm seeing. So on Twitch and YouTube, you get the full visual of the stuff I have. TikTok is the only one because I'm on my phone. And I try to do TikTok Studio and it gives me problems sometimes. So, but if you go to National Archives, once you're on that site, archives.gov, it goes to Veterans Service Records. You click on that, and then you can request military service records by mail, online. So if you're going to do request service records online, you click on that. And you start your online request. It'll give you DD-214, your official military personnel file, your replacement medals, or medical and health records. So you can access all that stuff through archives.gov and do it that way. And that's the fastest way to do it. It's faster now because you can actually do it online, where before you had to go through the request otherwise. But now you can do it online, so it's trying to speed it up. With technology advancing, they are trying to make it that there's a lot more stuff that is digital based. Take that with a grain of salt, though. It is still the military. Take that with a grain of salt. You have to find this information. You have to pay attention to it, because not everything is going to be there. Some things are going to take transitions to take time. But the same way, it's just like if we are educating our veterans to understand how these processes are, what needs to be done, how to go about these things, we lessen the time period and the waste of time. If you file your disability claim correctly, you don't have to worry about it getting kicked back. If you have all the evidence, if you have a fully developed claim, they can see like, oh, he has everything. This is good to go. Documentation, diagnosis, evidence, and everything. We don't need a CMP exam. We don't need to go through all these steps. We can go into the rating criteria. We rate it. Here you go. You got a claim. It could be that much faster. But when you got to go through the process of you filed your disability claim, you didn't have the evidence, or you did have the evidence, or you didn't have a nexus letter, or you do have the next. Like all these things are like different factors, and every veteran goes through something different. So there's all different structures to do it, but that's the way to get your records, and that's how you file for it as easy as possible. And this is the website, Veteran Awareness Project. It's Vet Awareness Project. So VET Awareness Project.com. And then from there you got resources, you got the record brief to contact us. We do have at the bottom, we do have, if you scroll all the way down, there is a subscribe button on there. Basically, that's once we start pushing out our newsletter and stuff like that and information, it'll be there. The TikTok is there, the Instagram is there, and the YouTube are also there for people to click on and just follow through there. But that's something, like I said, now that I'll have more time, done with school, I'll be able to put all this time into building all those things up. So basically, if you see a video that comes out on YouTube, if it's in a vertical mode or thing, it'll come out on TikTok. But it'll come out on TikTok on my other channel, on the Veteran Awareness Project channel on TikTok, which I usually just add them there. But I am completing my master's degree in public administration. And that is on Friday. He said, my live from last night was dope as fuck. I was tired of shit, bro. I was tired of shit last night when I was doing that live. I was tired. I was just like, I just wanted to kick it on there because people hadn't seen my face in a while. So it's just to show people, hey, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I've just been trying to knock out schoolwork. You do admin for HUD, nice. I'm trying to, I want to get into government, but at the same time, I don't. Because the thing is I'm way too passionate about the things I'm passionate about. And sometimes I can't filter myself. So that's why it's just like, I may just end up working for my school. I understand where you're coming from, but I think funding should come from donors and sponsors. Charging a veteran to learn about their benefits could deter them from participating. Claims are complex, and I can see paying for that, but other benefits aren't as complicated. Just my honest opinion, no hard feelings, but I personally wouldn't pay for a seminar on education benefits, for example. No, that's fine, Dreamer. Trust me, I completely understand that. It's not something that's going to be. It's not a mandatory thing. These are more the seminars are for the more in-depth explanations of all these topics. Because the thing is most of these things people know, they get the frosting. 2028. So Monica. It was like most people, when it comes to educating their stuff on any one of these topics, they get the frosting. They get the frosting in the cake. They don't get to eat the rest of the cake. They don't know what the filling is. They don't know. They just get the frosting of the cake. So those seminars are going to be something that's cheaper, because the way I see it is just like, look, I'm doing this. I'm doing these workshops. The workshops are free. I do this for free. But at the same time, it is still taking time out of my day to educate people. You have all these other corporations and all these companies that charge thousands of dollars for filing a disability claim, which is free. Filing a disability claim is free. You getting your documentation is free. You going to the CMP examiner, that's on you. That has nothing to do with that entity. But these entities are out there charging you thousands of dollars for that service. Here I am doing it that I can help you learn what you need to do for $50. I was like, for $50, you can know how to file your disability claim, how to go through your medical evidence, how to get buddy statements, how to write a nexus letter and all that stuff. And for $50, for all the thousands you're going to make after, I was just like, not everybody's going to want that. People are going to be hesitant. I understand that. I understand that people are going to be hesitant. But at the same time, you're going to be making an extra thousands of dollars that I'm not even going to touch your ass for, compared to these other entities where we'll be like, oh, look, I'll help you file a disability claim. If I get you to 100, that means you're going to pay me like $6-7 grand. I was just like, that's why I was just like, because the thing is what people fail to realize is like, if you go on my YouTube channel, I've been doing this for 2+ years already. I don't ask for donations. I don't ask for gifts. I don't ask if you want to donate and you want to become a member of any one of these or subscribe. I appreciate you for doing that. It's not something you have to do. But the way I'm seeing is that I am going to put a lot of effort into those seminars to make sure that when you go to those seminars, you leave knowing every bit of information, having handouts, having pamphlets, all the stuff you need to be successful in making your claim work. And I'm going to charge you a 1/50th of the amount that any other entity would charge you. Because you could also go to a VSO. They're not going to charge you. But at the same time, I'm making sure to educate you where you yourself can take care of yourself. There's a Cruz, where were you in the ballot? Everybody keeps saying that, bro. It's just like that's what it is. I am doing this to educate veterans to do it on their own, not to have to pay for a resource. But at the same time, it was just like, I gotta be able to fund this somehow. I got to be able to educate and be able to do this and fund it somehow. So like, it's not everybody's going to have those seminars. Not everybody's going to need the seminars. They're just going to be there that it's just like, hey, if they get held once a month, you want to participate in it because you want to get more information, you have the ability to do so. You still going to have the website, which is free to access. You still going to have the resources, which is the VA forms, the disability benefit questionnaires, the VA Nexus letter templates, any other templates and stuff that I come up with. That's still going to be free. These are just going to be specific, down to earth. You're going to have homework. You're going to do your work thing, educate you type stuff. He said, you have the soul for this. You should be a... I was just like, it's basically that's what it is. That's how I see it doing. At the end of the day, it's like, look, I've been doing this for 2 years. I made the company. I started it last year. And it was just like, I make money off of videos when people watch videos on YouTube. That's literally where I've made my source of income. People haven't watched it like that much on YouTube, even though I've done these workshops weekly, week after week after week. And it's always information that's important and viable to people. And most people don't watch it because they just want their get rich scheme. Most people want the get their 100% compensation quick scheme thing to happen. I understand that. That's not going to happen here because you're doing it the right way. You're not taking shortcuts when I do this. It's just like, I'm going to educate you on what these things are, how you go about them, where to find the information. You do with the information you choose, but after you've spoken to me, you leave with knowledge that you didn't have before. That's my concern. You have more situational awareness towards everything you are trying to succeed as or with as a United States military veteran. Like I said, not everybody's going to want the stuff. I know people are going to be hesitant. I'm just like, oh my God, he's charging $50 for this. And then I'm going to just tell people, hey, go talk to these other places. There's another one here that's like Vet AI. They charge you, I think it's like $1,300 for the whole process. $1,300 to file your disability claim, go through it, get all that stuff. And I'm just like, I'm going to teach you all this shit for $50 and you're going to keep all that money to yourself. But like I said, that's something down the road. That's not something that's going to happen like in the next couple of weeks, because what's going to happen is all these workshops will continue on Sunday. Now that I have time, it'll be specific things. But the thing is shit, I'm going on approaching 2 hours. I said it was going to be a short one, and I'm going on 2 hours almost. But those are going to be strictly for that. What do those companies do if claims get denied? For some of those companies, they don't charge until you win or until they win. The issue is that sometimes what happens is, no, they don't have a 100% guarantee rate. What happens with a lot of these entities is, let's say, okay, you are going to file whatever disability claim you have, right? So they file that. Then after that, they try to file the secondaries. Because remember, they are trying to get the first instance of the stuff that they can find in your medical records to file that to get service connection. Then after the service connection, that's when they start working on all the secondaries. But mind you, they basically get paid off of the time period and the back pay you receive, at least for some of them, because it differs by each entity. So literally, if you filed in 2022 and you've gone through the process as the same thing where you had secondaries to this and then you've been appealing and fighting it and your shit don't get done till like 2024, 2025, they basically collect off of the back pay that you made to whatever percentage they got you to. So if they got you to 100% and you're getting back paid for fucking 2 years or 3 years, they're taking a chunk of that. That's how they work it into their contract. Basically, we got you there. We're going to take a chunk out of the back pay, which depending on how much back pay it is, that's how much they make off of it. But each entity has their own different instance of how they go about it. Some put you into a contract where it's just like, hey, monthly for the next like 6 months, you're going to be paying us this amount of your, there's a whole bunch of them, Carson. There's a whole bunch of them, but veterans don't know about that. But the thing is also veterans don't know that they can do this on their own, that they don't need a company to do that. It was like, am I undercutting a lot of fucking people right now? Yeah. A lot of people ain't gonna be happy if I'm successful because I'm doing this shit for like a quarter of the price that they offer. A lot of places have these entities, have these workshops and all that stuff that they charge hundreds of dollars for. It was just like, it's free information. I'm just charging you the smallest amount. If you don't like it, it was only $50. But I bet you gonna know more than what you did before you got there. But now you went through the process of understanding how to file a disability claim, how to set up a login, how to set up your medical information, how to properly notate your medical information, how to differentiate and separate your medical evidence, how to get buddy statements, how to get nexus letters, how to write a nexus letter, how to fill out a DBQ. Like, you have all this stuff and you leave with it and you ain't more successful. I was just like, you got to do the work. A lot of veterans just don't like to do the work and they rather invest in something that'll get it done for them, but there's no actual guarantee that it'll happen, because if you have to, the veteran still has to do the legwork of making sure the documentation is there. They still have to do the legwork to make sure that the evidence is there. I was like, without that, it don't matter who the fuck you go see. If you don't got none of that shit and you don't work towards it. But like I said, it just depends. It depends on how people want to go about it, how it's going to happen. It's just like, there's multiple ways of this happening. There's multiple ways that this can go. I'm just trying to help veterans one day at a time. I was like, this is something I plan to do on the side. This is basically my little side business, my little side hustle, just helping veterans. Because the thing is I went through the process. I went through the problem of not knowing these things. Would it have been beneficial to me to know that I could have been using my VRE? I could have been using a VRE right now instead of the GI Bill. That would have been beneficial to me. I'm finishing up 2 years of a master's degree and I use my GI Bill. I could have been using the VRE program the whole time. I didn't know about the VRE program. Now I might try to go for my PhD. I could use the VRE program now. If I don't know about the VRE program, I'm probably like, you know what? I ain't fucking getting no PhD. I ain't trying to get even more educated. I'm not trying to be fucking expert at this stuff. I got to pay out of pocket for this? Nah, bro, I ain't doing that. That changes stuff. But that's just learning those things. Learning the fact that if you actually use your GI Bill and you have a little bit left, that if you actually invested and used the VRE, that in some cases they can recuperate your whole GI Bill. A lot of people don't know that either. A lot of people don't know that if you use your GI Bill and some of it is still left, you can change that. You can get your GI Bill back. What is the items or collections on your back wall? Can you tell us about that? Which stuff? Like this here? So Let me move because and put this here because that's the question I just got. So this is just a mess. This stuff is just a mess. These are all. These are the things that I got from the military. So this one I received in Hawaii. That was my platoon that gave me that. As a little like Hawaii is like the axe with the little scales on it. This one was in Germany. When I left Germany, they got me that plaque. This one was another one in Hawaii from a second group in Hawaii from the two. I was in two different units in Hawaii. Um, this one is to me my favorite one. That was given to me by a soldier. That was a soldier that actually went out of his way when he was PCSing to give me and my coworker plaques. So he appreciated us that much that he went and got us our own plaques. I was like, so that one always means the best to me because it was just like that was a soldier that gave it. The rest of them came from like unit funds and everybody doing it. But that one was actually a soldier that decided to go out of his way and pay for it out of pocket to get a plaque because the unit I was in when I left it and he was still there never got me anything. They didn't even get me an award. So he felt that after all the good I did for that company, all the shit that I should have left or something, and he went out of his way to make sure I got that. So that was those are one of my appreciated pieces. Yeah, I could tell the pro masks. That's there. Coins and everything are situated on the bottom. That's mostly it. The uniform is out in the corner, which I still have to update. I didn't put all the medals there because I was just like, fuck it, I just wanted to get out. This shit is just everybody, because I know everybody always talks shit. Like when I have MAGA trying to, or anybody try to argue with me, they're always just like, "Oh my god, he plays with dolls. This, and that." The Funko Pops are just my favorite ones. Those are the ones that always stood out to me, and I got every one of those Legos that I have. That was built with my kids, so that's why I don't give a shit when people try to talk shit about anything. Those were me sitting down with my kids building all those things together. So those always have a special place in my heart. My military picture down there, basic training, wolf pack, got the skull, got books, got all more electronic stuff up here and stuff like my microphones and stuff like that. Like here, if you see with TikTok, you got this stuff, my cameras, different cameras, microphones, my cup, like that was the first cup I ever did with just crews and stuff like that. And it's just like, there's just stuff that is just like, oh no, I don't care what people say. I've never cared what people say because if I cared about what people say, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be assisting veterans. If that was the case, I wouldn't be assisting veterans if I actually cared for what people say because there's a lot of negativity that comes with even doing these workshops. I still get negative comments from people that are just like, "You're not a real vet." And I was just like, what does that have to do with me assisting veterans? It's just like if I was a real vet or not, I'm still making sure to take care of veterans. So it's just like I was just like, it's just stuff like that. But it's just like you always have to, you got to take care of yourself. I was like, you got to take care of yourself. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Ain't nobody else paying my bills. Ain't nobody else gone through my experiences. Ain't nobody else taking care of my kids. Ain't nobody else paying my mortgage. You can tell me all the fuck you want. That shit makes no difference to me. It makes no difference at all when somebody says something. Why? Because I know what I've done, I know what I've accomplished, and I know what I've yet to accomplish. And I'm good where I'm at. I was like, because what was it? I seen it was just like success is being able to know that you are able to do what you want to do and you're happy with it. It's not all the money. It's not all the toys. It's not all the stuff. It's just being able to do what you've been wanting to do and being happy with it. That's success to me. Everybody has different criteria for success. For me, that's success. Me being able to smile, me being able to see my family all the time, me able to not to be taken away from my family, that's success to me. That to me is better than anything else. Yeah. Or the fact, like, look, the amount of times I've had people come into these workshops or come into the channel and be like, hey man, thanks to you, I was able to get this. Or when I get those phone calls from friends that I've helped with their claims and stuff, they'll be like, look, man, I appreciate you, man. I made it to 100% PNC. That was thanks to you and stuff like that. That to me makes me happy. That to me is success. That to me makes it happy for me when I get those phone calls of people reach out to me and just be like, hey man, because of you, I made it here. That to me is more fulfilling than anything fucking else. That to me is more fulfilling when I get those phone calls or those messages. I was just like, I was like, that's all it is. I was just like, just being able to help people and people just like, I don't expect anything back from people. It's just you just help people. That's how I was raised. You just help people. Doesn't matter who they are, where they're from, what they're dealing with. It shouldn't matter what they're dealing with. They need help them. Veterans need help. Veterans need to be educated. Help them. That's it. Like I said, I don't get anything from this. I get to meet some cool ass veterans. Y'all some cool ass people, or just cool people. I'm lucky enough to do that. But it's just like, hey, I'm happy doing this. I enjoy doing this. But that's the most rewarding part. Like I said, that's why that one plaque to me is my favorite one, because it was a soldier appreciating how I helped him and I helped mentor him through the time I was there with him, that he decided to go out of his way to give me a plaque. That's not something I had seen throughout my military career. I've never really seen that where a soldier went out to give a leader a plaque. Not even worrying about any money or anything like that. He's just like, I wanted to make sure you got this because I appreciated all you did. It was just like that to me, like that hit hard. That one hit hard. That one still hits hard every time I think about it. Because it was both of us, it was two of us that were in that company, and we were in the platoon, and I was a platoon sergeant then. But it was just like, I made sure to try to educate him. I gave him all the resources. I taught him how to do this. I taught him how to counsel. I taught him how to lead his soldiers. I taught him how sometimes you just got to put your foot down, and sometimes you have to ask for guidance or just ask for advice. Like I basically taught him how to be a leader, and he appreciated that much that he got me a plaque. And the same way with the other one, we were hard on this kid. We were hard on this kid, because it's like, when you see the potential in somebody, that sometimes you just have to push them. You just got to push them. Some people don't see the potential they have in themselves, and you just got to show them they have it. And with that kid, we pushed him, and he was grateful for it. That to me was the best thing. That to me still is one of the best moments I had while serving this country. So it's just paying it forward. That's it, really. Just paying it forward, making sure people are taken care of. That's it. When you take care of people, people take care of you. That's what it is. Yeah. Potential is always like that in the military or in anything you do. Some people just do. Some people you have to give them that pressure to make them into a diamond, because they've always been a diamond. They just never thought they could be the diamond. That's one of the biggest things. Most people don't know they diamonds under all the rough. It's a diamond in the rough. Sometimes you got to help people find it. Annette, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for thanking me for the congratulating me on the degree. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a member also. I appreciate you. But yeah, that's what it is. It's just like, you have to understand that. You have to be humble enough to know that you don't know everything, that people around you know more than you, but be able to accept that you don't know everything. Be able to accept that you can learn from other people. Me, I just needed that. When I joined the military, I had a great fucking Staff Sergeant Smith. Loved that lady to death. That woman taught me how to lead. That woman taught me how to take care of my people, take care of my soldiers. That woman took care of me when she knew I was in a struggle. That woman took care of me. It's like, hey, you need this. hey, there's this resource. We could take you here. We could do this. We could look at it this way. It's like that woman made sure I was successful no matter what the fuck I was going through. And it was just like that ingrained in me going forward. And it's just like always helping people. But when you see it and you experience it on a different level, when you don't ask for anything, you see that there's trials and tribulations everybody goes through. But when you have somebody that sees past that and is just like, you know what, we're gonna get you through this, that has an effect on you, and it has a long lasting effect. So Sarah Smithen, I appreciate you as always. I don't know where she's at right now, but appreciate her as always. But that's all it is. It's just helping vets. It's just helping vets, helping people be taken care of. And as you do it slowly, it's just like, look, I don't know everything when it comes to veteran affairs, but I'm gonna find you an answer. I'm gonna make sure you leave more educated. I'm gonna make sure you have the resource to find what it is you're looking for, what it is you want to do in life. Because that's the only way we make ourselves better. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And that is something that has stuck with me in the military and outside the military. You are only as strong as your weakest link. So if my weakest link is veterans that don't know how to file a disability claim, then that means I need to work on fixing veterans to know how to file a disability claim. That's all it is. That's all it is. Taking care of each other, y'all. He said, you making me want to serve. It was like, you making me want to serve. I was like, that's I am actually gonna be jumping off soon, Carson. I'm not gonna be streaming that much today. Uh I got a budget I have to create for school. I have to do a full-on budget. And what I'm using it as is basically the full-on budget that I'm proposing for class is actually the budget that I'm going to create for the Veteran Awareness Project to actually try to file for like grants and stuff like that, to actually be able to provide a bit more stuff for all of this. So somebody wants me to co-host. No, I'm good. So Cruz is diamonds. I appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. That just using that as a budget proposal and just creating a budget, basically showing what it could be, what it can be, and all that stuff. Yeah. So I got to do that, but doing it, I got to do it for a class and fit the class description of what they want within the budget, but I'm also using it as a template for the actual business. So that's why it's a good thing, because it's like I know the stuff that I'm doing here. So it allows me to actually incorporate it and make a business plan and a budget that shows spending, expenses, liabilities, assets, grants, fixed cost, variable cost, like all that stuff, and just like present value on assets being purchased, stuff like that, and all that stuff is just like, yeah. So I'm just taking advantage of it at the fact that I'm able to create this stuff, and then I'm gonna still be able to use it. So when it comes to actually proposing it to, let's say, try to get a bank loan to try to build up the website, or try to get some funding for the digital products that I want to push out to people, I was just like doing it that way. That should just do it. Keep the process, but take advantage of, hey, I'm shit. The GI Bill has gotten me this master's. Might as well take advantage of it to the full effect and use it as best I can with all the information that I'm getting from it. So, but it's the best I can do. Am I on IG? I have an IG for the veteran awareness thing. I do have my personal IG, but that one's just a personal one. That one is just like strictly people I know. But there is one on the website. There is the Instagram page, which it doesn't have much on there. I only have like 4 videos because I like started it up and then I haven't put everything. So like I said, these next coming weeks, everything is going to be all at the same time. So if you see one video in one location, that same video is going to be in all the other locations. I haven't been doing a good job with that, but it's basically a veteran awareness project. Everything is veteran awareness project, or vet awareness project. And threads, I guess, is another one. I don't really post there either, but it's just like all of this is going to be, I'm trying to find a way to get it so that if I post to one thing, everything else gets it. Because with YouTube, I usually do like community posts. With YouTube, what I do is I do quizzes. So I ask you a question Monday through Friday. I haven't been doing it, so I need to get back on that. But Monday through Friday, it is a question pertaining to something with the VA that I ask, and it gives you a multiple choice or true or false. And it's just basically little tidbits for people to learn and get questions answered or just find out on a certain thing. It's just like, hey, do you know how much you make if you have a dependent that falls under the Dependents Education Assistance Program? I was just like, is it A, 1526? Is it B, 800 something? Is it C, 900, or none of the above? And just have people click on it, so that was just like little quick quizzes and information for people to do. But it's all things like it's in the works. I just 2 years, these past 2 years have been through school. So yes. See, and yeah, and that's why I say Vegas. That's why it's just like it's funding wise, because having all these programs, having all this stuff, buying all this stuff that I have, it costs money. So it's trying to find grants is the best way of doing it, because then it's just like it's not based off donations. But if people donate, they donate. They'll go to a cause. But then, like I said, as it builds up, like I said, with the whole Twitch thing, and just because I'll be able to play, like if it's video games or fantasy football or whatever, like Madden, NBA 2K, MLB, all that, all these will be set up so that everybody can see it on the same platform. It's just making sure everybody can see each other's chatting in that platform. Carson, if you're gonna post, if you're gonna stream, there is well, you use Streamlabs, but it's the Atom, AITUM multi-stream. I believe if you take that part, you can do it, and it allows you to stream and put whatever outputs, because that's how I'm streaming right now. Right now I'm streaming to Twitch. I am streaming to the veterans page, the main veterans page, the PC TV one on YouTube. I'm also streaming on vertical on YouTube, and then I'm streaming on TikTok here. I didn't have the time to set it up on the computer to stream to all that, but I literally stream through all these things. I used to do it on Facebook also. I need to figure that one back out, because I do it on that one, and I have a Facebook page. But like I said, a lot of this stuff has to be revamped and reworked. Once that's done, yeah, like I said, y'all gonna be tired of me, because y'all gonna see me all over the fucking place. But that's mostly it. But yeah. But as always, I appreciate everyone. I hope somebody or people got something out of this workshop. Like I said, nothing specific. We're gonna start working on having specific topics and just sticking to those topics and going through it. There's a bunch of stuff that is always good to learn, or different information that's out there, but it's just like going through the process. Like I say, I would say give me another 2 weeks, because this week is just finishing up school. Next week, I just want to be able to fucking relax and be happy that I graduated. Then from there, it's just gonna be on a grind with this. So. Yep. And that is a one-time construction loan. But as always, be good to one another. Take care of one another. Look out for one another. Love one another. And stay marvelous while doing it, y'all. I'm Just Cruz. This has been our weekly Veteran Awareness Project workshop. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate the gifts. Appreciate Annette with the super chat and the $20 donation. I appreciate you as always. Thank you for being a member. Carson, thank you for subscribing here on TikTok. As always, I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Oh yeah, for all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Thanks for the reminder, Carson. Y'all be good. Y'all take care. I'll see y'all next Sunday or throughout the week. Peace. JC, thanks as always for tuning in. Annette, again, thank you for the support. Thank you for always being here. Grip, thank you for tuning in also. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. The follows I got on Twitch, appreciate that. Also to the entity subscribe to the channel, appreciate that also. Catnip, thank you for the follow. Everybody that tuned in, all the messages, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy your Mother's Day. Call your mama. Send her some flowers. Take her out to eat something. I don't know. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be good. Peace.